He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline. King, I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana. King, no, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I have been waiting for this album. First of all, let's start with that, yeah? This is work. It's a work of art. There was work behind the beat, behind the lyrics, behind the melody, the content, the idea of how the music flows, the images that go with each song. Music doesn't come from a place, it comes from the person. He's mixing, blending sounds. It's beautiful. My expectations, your expectations, his expectations, he's taking over the world. That's it. He's grown so much in such a short space of time that there's no limit to this. It's different to find an artist that comes out of Africa that does not conform to African rules.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline. King, I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana. King, no, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I don't think he made it, to compete in Africa. I think it was definitely for the global market, and I like that because we need more, we need more African players, playing hardball with the real big leagues. So it sounded very international. He's, stepping out the box and, creating a new sound that you really can't pinpoint where he's from. I like the fact that it's like a play-on-play words that, we're talking about the jungle, but, we live in these huge new metropolis cities that are growing in Africa. So I just like the contrast. We're talking about the jungle, but it's really like, we're in the big cities now, and Africa's the future, and there's no rules. We can do what we want.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline. King, I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana. King, no, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
When I got the call that Nasty was coming to town and they wanted me to come through, why not? That's the kind of thing I could be associated with. Africa is the new wave. And so we're not just doing music for Africans, we're doing music to tell the world that we're out here to sit at the table with them, if not take over. What I would say you'd expect is difference. It's not a conventional project. If you are one who likes to reach for the stars, here's a kid who's showing you that it can be done, and age is nothing but a number.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline. King, I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana. King, no, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
But most importantly, I want to thank you for caring for who you are and where you come from. I always say, you see who a person has become through what they write. Yeah. Thank you for respecting yourself and respecting us to go, you know what, I don't want to sound like everybody else. And with all due respect, when I hear a lot of people's music, I'm going back home to mommy. You know what I mean? I'm going back home to comfort. When I hear what you're saying, and I hear everything that's been done, the technique, the delivery, the sound, everything, the stories, how you're delivering, I don't have a home if this doesn't work. This is what you've made your home.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline. King, I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana. King, no, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I do feel like this album was Nasty C, and he wasn't necessarily trying to actively do something else. He was just being himself and making good music. My favorite track, okay, it's between, I have a couple. Okay, I have like top three. Let's do top three. I like Strings and Blings, Gavinci, and Gravy. Gravy, interlude, my back foot. All right, please, just go and do a second verse and a hook and a chorus for the rest of it, okay? Gravy, lit. He produced like nearly all of the tracks himself, and yo, it's lit.
Let me tell you how I never changed, I never switched up, always been this thirsty. Touchdown Nigeria, and I have to do the mandatory, I have to let my people know I'm really in the country, I'm here, I'm home. Up with the weights. Yo, what's up, man? This is the Jiggy Jigger, the coolest kid in Africa, Nasty C.
Hey guys, Nasty C is in the building.
Papa sent me a text and told me I'm heaven sent. I never became a doctor, but made me some M&Ms. They tried to keep me on the other side of the fence, and now my niggas living on the other side of the lands. We made it.
How do you get to pull off all this at your age?
You'll understand the shit when you can get to fly solo and crack your brain trying to figure out if you want the doors suicide or normal. That's suicide without a pill or rope. You're trying to set me up. I'm not gonna fall for that.
I just want to know.
And now it's bullseye, bro. Hey, I made my people proud to be in global.
Keep working hard. We love you in Nigeria.
This is my journey.
He's got a hoe inside him. Look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
Who the f is this kid? It's amazing. I mean, I've been doing hip hop for like 20 years in the game. Deep, everything from Dre, 2001 album, Eminem, 50 Cent, you name it, I've done shit. So to hear someone fresh, new, coming from the motherland, this is hip hop from Africa. There's no question about Nasty C being African, South African. It's just about the music. It's just about hip hop. No one's even broached the subject of how he sounds. It's just, people hear this shit and it's like, wow, this is dope.
He's got a hoe inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
Man, it's really just gonna put Africa on the map. I think it's his time, people are watching him, and he's gonna do a lot of great things, man, because he can actually rap, you know? He's a rapper, he's a rapper's rapper, he's a real MC, you know? I'm a spiritual dude, and I like the way he talks about, you know, talking to God and like, talking to God like he's my brother. I feel like that's how we should look at God. That's how we should have a relationship with God. Makes me feel good, the fact that he chose Kenya as the way he's gonna start his Iverson tour. I mean, puts Kenya on the map, man. It's great for Kenya.
He's got a hoe inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
It was remarkable for me to kind of sit back and be like, okay, cool, this is something to kind of look out for. I kind of decided to, you know what, this is a special one. This is one of those people you don't just play and forget about. I really like the fact that you're so artistic in the way that you think, because even the graphics come through with who you are. And I was quite impressed at how that little kid who I just interviewed, who didn't know his thumb from his shoe in the studio, could come alive as much as he did on stage.
He's got a hoe inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I like the fact that he actually had different pictures for every song, which just shows the amount of thought that went into the album. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing him actually perform those songs live. He's not very predictable. I mean, many artists are predictable, but he seems, because it comes from a different place, he could take it into any direction. He's quite young as well. He has like a bright future ahead of him. It didn't sound so African at the start, but then as he said to explain the lyrics, like talking about, I think it was 12 cows or 200 cows, then I could actually understand some of the lyrics he was spitting. So I really liked it. I feel like it's a good body of work.
He's got a hoe inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I think it's a very important album. All right, I think this is a pivotal time within the culture of hip hop. We've never seen a hip hop cat from Africa really take the world by storm. You know, the identity of hip hop is shifting every single day, and I feel like Nasty C is one of the guys that will definitely shift the attention to the continent in regards to hip hop as a culture. I think he's gonna save hip hop. I said that to him when he was dropping the King and Jungle, and I got on the phone with him, and he doesn't see it. I'm like, bro.
He's got a hole inside him. Look at his timeline, King. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, King. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
First time I ever called a DJ to be like, yo, whose song is that? And they said it's Nasty C. And I said, hell no. Like I said, you don't feel like he's younger than you. You don't feel like he's making a young person's, just young people's music. His talent is so broad and it's so well-rounded, and his understanding of emotions and feelings and how to use his craft, you know, melodies, instruments, his words, all of that is so great that he has such an incredible future ahead of him. If you think he's doing well right now, you have no idea what's going to happen going forward. I truly believe that. I will pray that if I have to.
He's got a hole inside him. Look at his timeline, King. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, King. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
As an artist, the way he married his music is absolutely phenomenal. Him releasing Jungle and King at the same time, listening to Jungle, it was just like, for me, it was like, that's my favorite track. A lot of people for a different title, but my favorite track is definitely Jungle. Him being able to just tell us his story is an African child's story. That's all we need. Whether it will be in through Afrobeat, whether it will be through hip hop, it just so happens he's very excellent at hip hop. So we'll take that. He's an accomplished artist. This is not African hip hop. This is hip hop. This is global hip hop from an African artist. And for me, he's definitely ready to take over. And the team that he's got, my God.
Let me tell you how I never changed, I never switched up, always been this thirsty.
What's up, Africa? It's your girl Sammy Walsh, and you are watching Touching Base with Nasty C.
One thing you'll always have to do, even when people call you a master at what you do, is go back to the drawing board. Make sure all your plans are straight, you know. So I'm about to go back to my drawing board at my home in Nigeria, Universal Studios.
It's organic, it's authentic. The story always has to be authentic.
When I land in Nigeria, there's just a couple people I have to see. People I have to get with, connect with, and make music with.
Me, run up, drip down. I did what you couldn't, you pissed now. I tell a diamond go Chris Brown. Yeah, pulling on your hair, I'm psyched. Then I tell you drop it like Link in a bike. I dig you like a
This is my journey. He's got a hole inside him. Look at his timeline, King. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, King. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I think it's an amazing project, man, especially with his production on the album, Nasty C. Done really well, man, and like I like how he did the whole first part of the album was very trappy, and then he kind of slows it down. Second part of the album, man. Standout tracks was You Played Yourself. I think I like the message behind that one. That was my favorite track, man. Yeah, if I could describe this album in one word, epic, man. Like this sound coming from South Africa, hip hop, you know, and doing it very, very well.
He's got a hole inside him. Look at his timeline, King. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, King. And now I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
The fact that he's in today's age, at his age, raps, sings, produces, and the subject, the material that he's talking about was really amazing. I was very impressed. I think it's a dope glimpse into where hip-hop is. I mean, obviously he's way ahead of his time, but the sound, the feel, the subject, some of them are just straight party anthems, you know, they go hard in a club, and some of them you just want to jam and ride along to in your car. yeah, like I said, it's a solid project.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I'm just a fan first and foremost, man. Everything he's done, I feel like, you know, maybe I should send an invoice or something because I've been championing him, you know, for so long. It's amazing to see the growth. I feel like sometimes I'm biased though because I listen to multiple Nasty C songs, album cuts, features that he does in between, and I'm just like, it's really hard to find the whack verse. All that hard work to see that passion, that inspiration come to fruition, and be channeled into this sophomore album, Strings and Blings. It's just like before we even get to the music, the story is so beautiful.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
The music has been consistent, it's good, it connects. Rap music is all about expression, and he's been expressing himself. What I've heard so far is really, really awesome, and I have no doubt in my mind that people are gonna love it. I already love it, so, you know, and if I'm an on-air personality and I can speak for all the thousands of listeners and millions of listeners that listen to us, you know, I can predict up to an extent that the album is gonna be like really hot. Hip-hop music is making its way, it's creeping back into the music industry in Africa, so watch out for it.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
The African narrative is so lit right now that even we as Africans are jumping on particular sounds or particular ideas without really exploring. And what I liked about Nasty was that there was exploration. There was, you know, ideas around what is contemporary, what is new, what is now. He's so young and yet so profound. I'm just really excited to see what he continues to do, because right now at such a young age, I was significantly blown.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
Like if you see a guy cringe when they're listening to your verse, you're good at what you do. And Nasty C has that. For a person so young to have that kind of barrage of talent and the aggression therein required, I love it. There's a truth to him. And it's a truth in the way that a dad would say, okay, I think I'll raise my kid okay. Or a guy in the streets would be like, man, I didn't know you thought that much about stuff. He really is conscious of what he's saying. Like, his eyes are open on the wheel. He knows why he's there and why he's in that position. For you to get a nod or a tip of the hat from a guy who's older than you out of fully earned skill, I gotta give the guy props.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
The movement is beyond just being a dope rapper over every other rapper. It's pretty much right now we're influencing Africa and Africans to understand that it is okay to be this way and still be African. You have to respect people who have that fearlessness to pursue what they believe in. Expect something to respect. Like you would respect if you put your mind to it and you are patient enough, you definitely respect the process that the writer has gone through to put this body of work together, definitely.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
Amazing, sonically,
very impressed. You know, I knew Nasty C was a producer, but this album is sounding really, really dope. And it's very difficult for artists to actually produce and rap and sing with perfection at the same time. The only few people that could do that, like Kanye. I like how he's sort of, you know, come together, bridge the gap between the UK and SA, sort of familiarize himself with the, you know, the players in the game and sort of like, you know, try and introduce his sound to us. You know, I like the message in there. I like the energy, you know, the song arrangement, everything is perfect. So very, very impressive strings and blings.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I felt like it was really heartfelt, and I wasn't expecting that, especially because Nasty C is on such a trajectory. This is definitely one of these albums that is going to resonate in terms of young people in hip-hop game. I think people are also going to start to move away from that whole OG, old school, you know, we teach you. They're gonna start listening to the kids, and I think that's really important. Can't wait for Nasty C to be back in Kenya. He's got a really big fan base here. Last time we spoke to him just before he touched down, he was like, oh, I got no fans out there, I don't know. If it's gonna work, it's not. But of course, he came down, he saw that there was so much love.
Let me tell you how I never changed, I never switched up, always been this thirsty.
Mi ò fẹ́ mọ gbọ́n nígbà I pray to God say I go make her She dey feel the bass when they make the girl shake her.
Also make bangers. So tonight I'm back in studio. We're gonna set it up any way we can, get a couple sessions in.
What's that? A new Barbie? What's that? Stella McCartney? Dance for me now, dance for me now. She can break it right back in and out.
I have to get the drama soon.
I hypnotize all the strippers who I keep two bitches to even the scale. I smash the ass nice purple as hell. She said her man don't deserve all the pain. I say it hurts to be here.
This is my journey. He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I'm a basketball fan. I've watched Jordan. I'm seeing LeBron now. I've watched Kobe. They're becoming bigger than an art form. They're becoming bigger than the country. They're becoming bigger than politicians, and all they are creatives. It's huge.
And I also like the fact that you just get to talk about you actualizing yourself, and you're not afraid to say how great you are. You're not afraid to admit how not perfect you are, and you're not afraid to go there with the youth and be jiggy. It's really dope. It's really, really, really nice.
Yeah.
Talk to your old people and
It's
the
really
shit that
dope.
we face.
Yeah.
It also your young people also resonate with it. You're really good with these words, bro.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
First of all, I think that Nasty C is an amazing artist. There's no contest. He's young, he's fly, it's everything combined. So I think that it's a good place for hip hop with this album right now. I think that it will send a good message out. It's hip hop that you can listen to. It's hip hop that can cut across. I know that good music is relative, but there's also music that we all enjoy. And I think that this is one of those that, regardless of how you feel about certain types of music, you can still enjoy.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
Listening to the album, I really can't tell where the artist is from. And that's what I think Kenyan artists can learn from that album. I don't want to tell that you're from Nigeria or you're from Kenya or you're from the United States. I just want to hit me. people play very safe these days with music. They're just trying to please everyone or just do one sound. I think he was brave doing this album the way he did it. And, you know, for hip-hop fans, we appreciate it.
He's got a hole inside him, look at his timeline, king. I just came from Kenya, I'm headed to Ghana, king. No, I'm serious, the shine is too real, it might fuck with your iris.
I think that Nasty C as an artist is coming out to say, I'm not an Afrobeats artist, I'm not an African, I'm just a hip-hop artist and I want to show you my artistry to the world. I feel like you played yourself, every single person can relate to it. It's like Drake, Nice for What? And it's like a relationship anthem. So I feel like that's something definitely everyone can relate to. King, I feel like it's uplifting. It's something like when you're feeling down, you're like, you need to remind yourself who you are. As an African artist, even though he is from Africa, the main thing that we can take from him or what he's trying to convey is that, look at me as just an artist.